Funk Motorsport, it's their new offering, new product. And I hope I'm gonna be one of the first ones, probably not one of the first ones, but they're gonna offer custom service for custom blanket for your manifold. So if you have a manifold that you are thinking of wrapping, you know how some manifolds are really difficult to sort of wrap with everything is tight. You can have a blanket made, tailor-made like this, almost like an exhaust blanket to go over your complete manifold. I'm very looking forward to this because not only will look absolutely incredible, it's supposed to like work better than anything else on the market because obviously it's like a turbo blanket. But for this I need a manifold and I don't have a manifold yet. Manifold will be hopefully made in a couple of days. Crossing my fingers, I'm going to see Eden at RuskiWeldFab. You all know Eden at RuskiWeldFab. One of the videos where we did his mica is going to be in this corner.
3 weeks later.
Boom! And just like that, guys, for you, it's a 1 second transition. For me, that was a couple of weeks back at Funk Motorsport. I'm here to collect my manifold custom blanket. This thing is absolutely amazing. Wow.
There we go.
Good guy. Baby. Thank you so much. First, I really wanted to show you where sort of the magic happens. This is a small warehouse side of things, but in here, this is where they make everything in-house. And when I say made in the UK, it's actually made in the UK. So, little sweatshop here. No illegal immigrants. They're all totally legal. I don't know why I'm saying all that. But yeah, this is where everything is made, everything is measured, and I'm sure you've seen some videos where they measure, make templates. This is exactly where it's all made. So those are your sort of pre-made, not custom, but downpipe or exhaust sort of blankets. They're meant for wrapping around sort of straight tubes, straight pipes and stuff.
Exactly. So it will start like something like this, like a template that we've created up against a manifold. So this was for one that we did with Miltech recently, and then we'll end up cutting that out into kind of a base fabric like you see here, and then we'll do the same thing with the other layers, and then it will just move on to the side machines. But yeah, it's a pretty iterative process. So yeah, pretty straightforward.
And it's obviously multiple layers of different fabrics. I'm not even going to go into detail because I think it's trade secret. I mean, it's not really. I mean, obviously, if you buy it, you can sort of see what it is, but it's multiple layers. It's all fireproof, heatproof. Definitely fireproof, as I've proven before.
I see you looking at that because I know that you're interested in your composites, right? So that's just a carbon fibre, but to be honest, it is only the top layer that's different. Right? So the rest of the materials will stay the same. So this one's like just a carbon fibre weave. It's nothing fancy. I don't actually know the details of it.
Because I know a lot of people sort of always wonder and asked me before, like, how come is this one? Which one is better?
Yeah.
Or the carbon better or the Kevlar better?
Yeah.
And I always say that they are the same. It's literally for the looks, whatever you prefer, whether you want it slightly sort of bronzy, shiny like that, or you want it carbon fiberish. The outside layer makes absolute no real difference to the function of the thing. It's all the same.
So as an example, so here we go. Here's kind of an internal kind of carcass, as it were. In the 4 layers, you've got the mesh there, you've got the internal silica, then you've got the insulation, and then the outside layer, which everyone always asks us about, what one's better, is going to be the carbon fibre or the titanium, and this one's just one.
Or the inside out.
Or the inside out, exactly. Thank you very much.
The inside out, yeah.
Or the inside out, which is kind of new on the website, which is intended for kind of the same sort of temperature that you see on the inside, but on the outside. And we just essentially make the same carcass again for the outside. But that's one of our T25 internal gate blankets, which I'll find one which is supposed to look like. It will ultimately end up looking similar to this one here. You can kind of see the cutout there, but again, obviously it's got no external fabric on there. So yeah, as I say, they perform exactly the same. It's just kind of the external skin, apart from the inside out blanket, which is slightly different. But besides that, kind of starts something.
Just a few words about the inside blanket, because when we were speaking about sort of my application, they asked me if I wanted the inside out blanket. The inside out blanket, effectively, it's basically, well, as the name suggests, so the inside layer is the same as the outside layer, and it's only, well, not only, but it's really good for components if they're touching the sort of the hot side. So if you have your downpipe or something else going really, really close to your turbo, that is possibly going to be touching, because this layer is not really fireproof. It's not really meant for touching really hot things. So that's the sort of the only application.
You know, sometimes people want to go down the inside out route, and you don't necessarily need to. Some people like to go down that route just because. But even if you do burn out the outside, the way the construction is put together, the way the materials are held together, you know, you're still not going to face any problems.
Yeah.
So even if, for example, you have a wastegate that's touching the outside of that and it causes a burn on the outside, the rest of the material is still going to stay as it is, still going to continue performing as it is. So, you know, you've got no issues there. What's that?
Don't panic, yeah. It's just to let you know
don't
that
panic.
in the future it'll continue doing its job.
Now you know how it's made. All made in UK, yeah.
Yeah, that's correct.
Exactly.
Don't buy any of this cheap Chinese stuff. They seriously fall apart, guys. I mean, it's another really good thing I really wanted to point out. The majority of...
Let's get a nicer roll for you.
It doesn't really matter.
Oh, okay.
The majority of competitors use Nomex thread for their blankets and stuff. There's a reason why they all fall apart, because that stuff is not actually really fireproof. It just disintegrates. What Funk is using is this stainless steel wire. I've never seen anything like this before. This actually has some weight to it. You look at it and you're like, well, it's a thread, but this thing probably weighs good 2, maybe 3 kilos. It's stainless steel, very expensive, but this stuff does not burn because it's stainless steel. So this is what Funk uses on all of their blankets on the inside. So that's why they're a lot more fireproof than anything else. And just to prove this, here's a little test.
So if I pull that,
Yeah.
it's gone there.
I mean, to be fair, that lasted longer than I thought it would.
But if you put some tension in it as well.
Yeah.
And if you look on this, it's the end.
I mean, it would never get this, yeah.
So,
That's pretty crazy.
and then I can pull that.
Obviously, this stuff is
pull
like...
that in tension on it, and we're all good. All right.
Yeah.
But even in this instance, you know, I can leave that there all day, which is going to get hot. It's not intention. It is what it is.
Yeah. That's pretty crazy.
I can pull on that, and you're
Yeah.
good, right?
Yeah.
Whereas this, you know, oh, that's hot. Just does that. Just.
Yeah.
But like I say, different purpose, different use.
So I wonder why other manufacturers not using this, because it's just expensive, isn't it?
It's hard to work with.
It's hard to work with.
It's really hard to
Oh yeah, because for that you need special machines. They have 3 machines that are for your general heat sleeving and intake and all that sort of stuff. And those machines, Juki, probably all made in China anyway. But those are specific machines to work with this thread. Interesting, really, really interesting. So now I'm back home, and I had time to reflect on this, and I have to say, this thing is amazing. I can really see them being popular, because it's a really cheap way, and I'm telling you, it's a really cheap way of minimizing the heat in your engine bay. I can almost categorically say that ceramic coating or wrapping is not going to give you the same result, because this thing is thick. It's a blanket. It's the same construction as the turbo blankets. It's really, really thick, and as Funk shown, and I've actually shown as well, as you can imagine, your turbo gets really, really hot, and this blanket basically contains all of this heat. I'm still holding it, by the way. No gloves, no nothing on the inside. So you know that the heat going through the blanket is absolutely minimal. Don't get me wrong, within time, obviously if this thing is on the component and it's running, it will get hot, because obviously it will heat up, but not to the same level. And Funk Motorsport can make it any size and shape. I mean, obviously, this manifold that we made with RuskiWeldFab is quite a simple one. It's literally just sort of a long sort of bit with 4 runners, and we decided to save as much weight as possible. More on this later when I actually release this video. I'm not sure which one is going to be first, but this thing is half the weight of my previous one. That's why we didn't do equal length runners and blah 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 blah. But this blanket is simply goes over the top like this, and then you can secure it either with wires, or I prefer to use those springs. And yeah, so Funk Motorsport can make you any size. It's not as expensive as you might think. Honestly, I don't really know currently the price, a retail price of those, because again, all of it is custom. So if you are interested in one of those, the best thing would be contact Funk Motorsport. They're a really helpful bunch of guys. Give them a call, email them through Instagram or whatever, and just ask them. Send them some pictures of your manifold, and they would be able to at least advise you on ballpark figure, time frames and stuff like that. I've been told that roughly about 2 weeks, give or take. They can work under tighter deadlines. It'll cost you more, obviously, but also all depends on your requirements and the complexity of the manifold. So this thing is just gonna okay, let's drop everything. So this thing is just gonna sit like this in the engine bay and provide me with a lot of happy miles of heat-free motoring. Oh look, little bee. Anyways guys, I'm gonna finish this one here. Thanks Funk Motorsport for providing me with a blanket, with a turbo blanket, with one of those downpipe blankets that you simply run around the normal pipe, and a Westgate blanket. If you want one of those, Funk Motorsport, link in the description, Instagram, all of that nonsense. You know what to do. Follow, subscribe and all that, and I will see you on the next one. Bye bye.